definitely didn't realize in the last moment I hadn't fixed something up, but it is fixed now, just before I left that screen, that opening sequence. So a little bit quick on the draw there, almost missed it out, but we do get there in the end. So I am your host, as per usual, V-Line Bus. It's not often I have someone with me, and today is no exception. Sorry to get everyone's hopes up, if that was about to be the case. So, Nexus Division, getting up there, one of the three kind of top divisions that get out of just being A, B, C, D, E, and get into Nexus, then Heroic, then Storm, kind of moving its way up, so from the bottom up from there. So, Can't Connect Stuns and Death Delay, both good teams. Can't Connect Stuns I have casted before, Death and Delay I haven't. So, in terms of series today, it was said that it should be a good one, so we'll have to see. So, I would definitely mention Braxtolus and Dragonshire was banned by Can't Connect Stuns, so I don't know how good it could be, and Gunterra and Volskaya were banned out as well by Death and Delay. And that leads us to, well, a Tomb of the Spider Queen game. And I do wonder how long this is going to go on, but at least refilled my water before I got here, so we should be good to go. God, I needed that water. Right, we are getting straight into it, because I'm like, you know what, I need to go play with friends soon. I can't cast forever, and this will be no exceptions. Let's get into the map, shall we? I wonder how chaotic it would be casting on 2 times speed, considering how far some team fights go already. But no, we shall see everything going off shortly, as we do have a double healer composition on one side, as we do have Shredded Wind on the Oriole, Porky is on that Vala, I remember why this team exists, Brainer is on the... Brainer's on the Tyrael, Slick Rub is on that B-stepping Rhaegar, and Vermansky is on Hogger. On the other side, we do see Spark Lark 118 is on the Anubrak. Io Maiden is on that's a good name. Is on the Brightwing. Mac Daddy-O is on the Tychus. Delta Sniper, Tassadar, and Paper Tanks is on the Stitches. And we can see Hogger is actually holding very aggressively to make sure no one can step through here quite as quickly as they want. They hit a sour spot there, couldn't quite find Paper Tanks. And all while that attack speed bonus does already take down that tower. And we did see a very similar thing last time we were casting as well. They just had a strong aggression onto the towers from the outset, and they really did not let up. So we're already having same shades of this again. The thing is, Hogger can double soak on this map. You can leave the other lanes to Hogger. You could just choose to push bottom if you so desire. And double healer means it'll be very hard to take out things such as Porky and Brainer. Keep in mind, Porky has gone that, Volvara I should say, has gone the Creed of a Hunter at level 1, so we'll have the increased attack speed and we'll be stacking their auto attack damage. And the other thing to note is, actually we see Regeneration Master in Anubarak. Not often you do see it, but this is one of the maps you can get away with it. But that's because you're expecting to rotate mid-top and get double soaking up. But this is a map where, this is one time you're not. Oh, Vala taking a lot, does get cleansed, does get shielded, does get out. You can see now the teams are going to back up. There we go, feeling much better now. And we do see that this camp will be picked up quickly by the side of Can't Get Stuns. And a fun fact that I found a little bit ago, thank you to the Tracer player, Mockery, who does like picking some more off-meta heroes, let's say, is Tyrael's attack speed bonus they can give at level 7 can also increase the attack speed of minions and camps. So that's a fun thing to note for later. We do see now that it is being pushed in. This is not often I see this one, but I do like that this camp's being picked up now by Death and Delay. That is going to be something you're able to get a decent amount with. And we do see that it is the Tyrael that goes down first. Tychus just pumping them full of damage. Porky and Shredded Wind having to back out. Hook for missing Shredded Wind. Slick Rub also didn't quite get found by it. Porky is hitting Spark Lark in the meantime. There's the cleanse. They phase for a wall. Delta Sniper didn't quite find the wall onto them. And that is a living Vala once again. And now we can see the ping is to do their own camp. And Vermansky doing the best to clear out the bruiser that was mid. I do like that we have offlane Stitches. I really advocated a lot for offlane Stitches early on, after the Stitches change, because I think he's just a really fun one to play in the offlane. He's not always amazing, but he can do very well, especially because He's one of those tanks that he's a pick tank. He's not necessarily a good engage. So this is a very good bet as well. We can see there's a big team fight coming out. Porky does get hooked, does get rolled on. And that will be a stack lost of their Gambit. That level 1 does disappear. Oh, has partially disappeared. And just a quick rundown for those who are new in the chat, because I know there is one. I don't know if she's lurking or not, or if they are still here. We do see this map is you're going to be getting these coins. So the spiders' butts are the coins. You'll then pay the coins to Viz and drop big web weavers, which will push through the lanes. Right, stun came out, Sparklark realizing they're not the best spot. Paper tanks trying to do a little bit of damage. We do see them whipped into the wall, and Vala's only just back now. I do wonder if this is a little bit too much on the too much execution of Vala, because this is one of those harder maps to pull off with just Vala. But no, it seems like Porky has no fear and goes in and just hits Delta. Brandon's seeing a fake and turn in, all while Hogger has majority of theirs, actually only 6 at this point. They managed to roll out, does dodge the main CC train, does dodge a hook, does dodge the Anubrak, and will be fine. They do get a little bit punished for their time around, but they at least had a good way to get out. And we see Vala's absolutely tearing through that building with that attack speed bonus from Teriel at level 7. But we can now see that it is the blue team's Web Weavers. Hook doesn't quite find Brainer. And this is going to be an interesting spot for both teams. Swift Retribution is the talent that is causing issues here. Also note that Oriole picked up a Whip talent at level 4, as well as Tychus picked up the Ember Rhythm at level 4 as well. So stacking the length of their D. The bigger minigun, the better. Porky doing what damage they can, does take a little bit of a spanking on their way out. See, they're at 37 stacks already, but they're making their way down. They realize all 4 of 5 members are top for Death and Delay, so there's the call just to go mid. Which was already much weaker for the side of Death and Delay, so it makes sense. Nice whip by the Oriole. Porky a little bit high, still does get a W roll at them. No roll available while they're polyed. Porky does shoot a wall directly and then rolls out. Meanwhile, the side of Death and Delay are trying to find their ways back into the Sparklark, very much wanting to jump on. Delta's sniper hitting a good beam. What's the beam called? Shock Ray onto the team, but it's healed up pretty quickly by both Shooter Wind and Slick Rub. Sparklark has come in behind. Porky gets rolled. Good purge. However, there's no purge for the hook. Porky trying to BS that. There's a lot of healing coming out onto them. Energy full by Shredder Wind does pop it onto Porky, and Porky will ultimately survive. This very much is, I ultimately realize I am talking a lot about the Vala, but the Vala is also very much the linchpin for both teams. If Vala gets taken down by Death and Delay, they have a lot of time. But if the side of can't connect stuns protects the Vala well enough, that is going to be that team getting it. So it's very much a game of the Vala. If they live, if they die, what will occur. Also, Hogger is in danger. Does get hooked by paper tanks. Does get stunned. Red Weeboovers will be descending this time. And now we see Vala pushing top. Delta Sniper is there to meet them. But Brainer is going to be pushing in. No, we do have Sanctification up for the Teriel. Also note some other things. We do have Shockwave Hogger. Ancestral Healing Rhaegar, Rain of Vengeance on Vala, and Crystal Aegis on the Oriole. On the other side, we do see Black Hole, Tassadar, Blinkheel, Brightwing, Cocoon, Anubrak, Gorge, Stitches, and Big Red Button, Commandeer Odin on the Tychus. Teriel has been stunned a while. Vala does go all the way up, decides it's safer to go that way around than back through where the enemy team is. Smart play. You see, meanwhile, Hogger is defending bottom. And now Porky and Go are defending here. Nice hook and gorge by Paper Tanks. You see the dashing out. Teriel is trapped in the cocoon, so there will be no assistance for Shredder Wind there. They get one last hit off with their W. One last swipe will go down. Meanwhile, we now see Vala's in the firing line will be the next to fall. That's now 2 stacks of Gambit gone from the Vala. And Tassadar throws out AW for good measure. Teriel trying to half for a little bit. Yes, I did. That will be available after this. So this will be my last series of the day, and the VOD will then be published afterwards. While I have it, the way I have it set up, it doesn't publish immediately, just in case there are any edits that I need to do immediately, such as if it's any corruption, or if intro was too long, I try to shorten it so it's not everyone just waiting around for 5-10 minutes waiting to see if when I start or not. I do try to make it so it's easier for everyone to get straight into things. But there will be available after the series, and I do need to message someone else saying that as well, but hopefully they heard me saying this. We now see Vera's posturing coming on around the mid. Brainer is in trouble alone. We see them drop the Sank to stall out time because they don't want to lose those gems. Does move speed on out. Dodges Spark Lark's Q. We do see them eventually teleport out, and they will be fine. Nice hook and gorge onto the Vala, and that's Porky once again in danger. Does roll effectively, gets a nice stun, but will still go down. That's now 3 stacks of a gambit done, and Creed of a Hunter is still not even at that 50 mark. It's still taking a little bit to come online. That really pauses when I'm not on that screen, huh? Right. We see that it is the Delta Sniper getting a return in. Just one more gem needed, but Paper Tanks will have that in a few moments. Right. Red Web Weavers are descending. We'll see how that goes. So that is 2 in a row. There's a lot of pressure already on for the side of Can't Connect Stun. So Def and Delay do have a lot they need to do. Well, Def and Delay have a pretty easy time here so far. Can't Connect Stuns really do need... that's something I do mess up a lot. I do say Red Weavers a lot, even though I meant to say Red Weavers. Just for some reason, Red Weavers sound much more comfortable to say than Red Web Weavers. Say it out loud to yourself, and you can see that Red Weavers somehow rolls off the tongue easier. It rolls off the tongue easier. Red Web Weavers is a mouthful. It's probably because the hard D sound in red makes it a little bit more difficult. Alright, we do see now the dive coming out. Sparklight, good. Cleans onto Brainer. There comes the black hole through. Porky doing what damage they can. Invuln use. That's a good sanctification, meaning that was a lot of damage dodged from that Q. See now that, well, they're going to back out. Nice dodge of a hook. Couldn't quite find anyone there, but 2 forts down all of a sudden now for the side of Can't Connect Stuns, and Def Delay are feeling in a pretty good spot. It's likely we're going to have to see rotation coming back top, but Turn-In immediately being ran at by Def and Delay. They're wanting to make sure that, well, there can't be any turn-in for Can't Connect Stuns. We see Vala taking a lot. Ancestor comes out. The Crystal Age is coming out, so that is a Vala who was about to die at full. No, I don't think I will. Nice back out. Sparklight goes directly into the middle of it and just pops back out. That is not quite the area you could stand, as the holy ground does not let you stay there. Right, we see Brainer trying to get behind Mac Daddy, couldn't. Energy being brought back up by Shredder Win once again. The Mainski is here now as well. See there's a lot of sun coming up. Slick Rub, however, unable to survive. Mainski does pick up the gems from them as they roll through. Mac Daddy is the one in danger, being bodyblocked by Brainer. We can see Vala gets the stacks off and gets the kill there. Paper Tanks next on the firing line does go down as well. And Vala has hit that point where they're starting to get scary. And level 16 is up in just a moment for them. Another half a level away. They do almost have 100 stacks of the quest at level 1. And they will almost have Manticore coming through, which means that Spark, Lark, and Stitches become a lot more squishy, let's say, into the Vala, who has decided to call we're going bottom, as Blue Web Weavers will be pushing through, and they want to get as much pressure in other lanes as possible, and see if just top will be left alone so Hogger can open that up for the team. Which appears to be the case. There are the 16s, there's Manticore, and we actually see Orioles going that infinite stacking quest at level 16 for Ray of Hope. Sorry, Reservoir of Hope. And that will slowly, more and more, get stacked up. I need to make like command exclamation mark VOD in these situations. You can see Vala has now hit that 100 stack mark, so they'll be doing 4% extra per stack of, sorry, 2% extra damage per stack of hatred they have. So that's up to a maximum of 20% extra currently, which is nothing to sneak away. It's just auto attack with it in general. Yeah, I think it's just auto attack. Anyway, we do see a whip into wall. We see a lot of damage going out. Porky stepping around, does manage to not get stunned by the black hole, and all while just hitting Spark Light as they can. Sparklark, I will mention, is getting close to the completion of their quest, 24 out of the 30 needed. So once those last few come through, that will do very well to help their survivability into things such as Vala. Speaking of which, we do see the camp being started by Vala, as Can't Connect stuns do want the camp. Sparklark, all while keeping an eye on things. Brainer has found it with the Holy Ground. Maybe it would have been better to save the Holy Ground for the objective itself. They do, however, pick up that camp relatively easily. And now Porky rolls in to get the punish, does get Polymorph, does get Electric Fence dropped on them. However, they managed to phase through Matter and not. Slickrub does get stunned. We do see that as Paper Tank's doing their best to get out of here. Brainer tried to hug them. Slickrub pops Ancestral themselves, so they need to get the Sanct onto them just a little bit off of Rhaegar. Rhaegar does get out in the end. That's Sanct, but all defensive going off of the world. The Ancestral, the Sanctification, and the Crystal Aegis did so well to keep Rhaegar alive that I'm very surprised they did manage to survive. Porky now for one in danger. Will go down. That's 4 out of 5 Gambit stacks lost, so that's 20% less attack speed than they started with that talent. They still have 5% bonus, however, so are doing alright all in all. Brainer tried to dodge Sparklark, however Sparklark did choose that upgrade to Burrow Epicenter, which means it will have a wider stun radius. Tariel did get hit by something where I probably would have said I would have missed, but that is excellent stuff for Brainer getting out just like that. Brainer does decide to help the camp, Slickrub and Shredder Wind with the camp, just because they're not known for being amazing camp clear. Well, Rhaegar actually is pretty good camp clear, but Shredder Wind I would not say. L'Oreal is not one of those excellent camp clearers. Interesting to see full W build from the Oriole, by the way. It's not often you see that. 20 is coming up for both teams shortly. We're going to see another objective phase, however, for Death and Delay. They probably want to going to even up top lane. It looks like that's the lane that's going to be defended first, at least by the side of Can't Connect stuns. But I want to see if they can push elsewhere, then come up top lane once that's cleared out and the team leaves. Hook missing Porky. Porky will be probably happy about that one. They are going to get hit by the black hole into the wall, however. Roll in. Delta Sniper is the one in danger. We do see they use the Shadow Step, whatever it's called, talent. Shadow Walk, sorry. I was close. Oh, dodging on the Hook. Hook doesn't quite find anything. Vala playing very safe, going around the long way. Objective will be getting down shortly. Mainski getting a nice stun onto Paper Tanks. There is the Ancestral healing up Mainski. And we see that Tyrael is stuck in a cocoon. And Tyrael has been reborn in you. Hook coming out into Shredded Wind. We do now see the chase is... not Shredded Wind. Hook onto Porky. Porky rolls as much as they can. Tyrael goes in. Here comes the Sanctification. That is a Vala who's able to get a lot of damage off while not being able to get damage themselves. Mac Daddy-O is the one in danger. Does get found by the Hogger in the end. That insta-burst from the Dynamite just a little bit too much. Iron Maiden trying their best to get out, but it looks like Sparklark... they will, but Sparklark will not. Hook finds Vala. Porky does roll. Does get the cleanse out. Does get targeted by Tower. You see now Tower is the target. I imagine this may be an end call now for the side of Can't Connect stuns. At least it should be. There's still a decent amount of time down for teams. If Porky can stop taking damage, that is. There we go. Porky stopped taking damage. And now we can see Core will be coming out. Will the team be able to end here is a question. This objective, this core does not do as much damage as the other ones. Hook coming through, somehow fighting Porky once again. Porky getting the attack speed bonus from the Tyrael though. So you can see that's quickly going down whenever that attack speed bonus is available. Porky taking a little bit too much damage once again. Does get the damage out of the core. GG's called by Sparklark, and that will be the first map of the series going over to the side of Can't Connect stuns. Well played. Oh, I do like Nexus Division. It's good, high quality gameplay. Where you do sometimes get a little bit of memes. So let's go over to the game summary screen. Yeah. So, in terms of talents, we did see that Nubrak eventually did close out their auto attack quest at level 1. Not auto attack, their regeneration quest at level 1. Targets at 136. We also see Vala got to 161 stacks, as well as Shredder Wind getting to complete that whip quest. Everything else in terms of talents makes sense here. Shadow Walk's probably one of the more interesting things, I think, from Delta Sniper, but they did need a way to break Vala's aggro, so to speak. Other than that, everything else is standard from what I can tell. Probably most interesting thing will be Smite the Wicked being picked up as you typically see with Holy Ground, the cooldown reduction on Sword at level 16, but it still worked out for them either way. And interesting enough, we do see Timber by Discipline, so Vala was more or less just healing from the damage she was doing. By the time she was at those full stacks, she was healing 30% per auto. On the other side of things, we do have Rhaegar and a Brightwing very close in terms of healing, and then Oriel actually not far behind, then 5k behind that. Damage, Vala have the most, surprise, Tessa have the most damage for, hero damage to say for Death and Delay. In terms of the Siege, Hogger 146k compared to Delta Snipers 136, and that mirrored Soak 17k from Hogger and 13k from Tassadar. Right, so I'll be going back over the game summary screen, map view screen. And map number 2, what do we have? It looks like I downloaded things in the wrong order because it's meant to be Battlefield of Eternity next. I hope people reported this right, because very much sometimes it's coming off the, if they haven't gotten this right and it turns out to be a best of 3 and then it's 2 things wrong, then it's a problem. But the files looked a bit confusing as there's a big gap between the two. Right, anyway, we will be getting into Battlefield Eternity. Battlefield Eternity is one of the more preferred maps. I do enjoy it a lot. So we'll have to see how this goes. Going to be quite a difficult comp for both teams to deal with. So Vala now on the other side. We see Sparklark is on the... I can't remember Joanna's name. Joanna on the other side. We do then see MacDaddy-O on the Ufa, as what looks like to be the tank. Delta Sniper is on the Li Ming. Paper Tanks is on the Vala, and IO Maiden on the... Okay. On the Tyrande. On the other side, we do have the main ski back again on Hogger. Porky is on... I can't even see that. Greyman, I imagine. Yes, it is. No, Porky is on the Falstad. Shredded Wind is on the Greyman, getting hit by that Tyrande Owl. Slick Rub is on Karazim. And Brainer is on the... Mirrodin, who's going into Narnia. So we've got two very different styles of comps here. Very much Death and Delay can both fight. They fight pretty well, but their race will be excellent as we do see that Vala puncturing arrow. But the other side of Can't Connect Stuns have something a little bit more divey. As you see, they are going to be pushing on to Sparklark. Sparklark taking a lot of damage and will go down. Between Greymane, Brainer, and Slick Rub just jumping onto someone. That's a very quick kill. But meanwhile, bottom, we do see that Porky goes down. And looks like we're just going to get a little bit of a race. Are we just going to have a base race? Also, we'll note stat talents while we're here. We do see auto attack Falstad picking up that, I can't remember what it's called, frequent flyer at level 1. Meanwhile, bottom, we do see that Ufa has gone stun build. They are just hammering and puncturing arrow picked up by the Vala, which we can see Falstad dies immediately, 2 stacks for them. Shredded Wind and Co trying their best to stop. The Sparklark 118 trying their best to slow things down. We really are just getting a base. Are we just going to have like a 3-minute map, guys? I don't know if I can even talk over this. Just like, this is what's happening. Joanna doing their best to slow things down, but there's a lot of auto attack damage coming through. Both buildings gone at basically the same time. We see now the full half coming out. Brainer wanting to reset. And that may be all we wrote for that first building getting done. No, they're doing Siege Camp. But are we still going to get a push by Can't Connect Stuns into the base? We are. They are going to keep going, huh? Oh, Porky takes a little bit of damage on the way out. Brainer now here to defend. Does get with a hammer. Does get with another stun. Does get with a decent amount of Li Ming. But they will back out. There's another stun onto the Ufa. And they did start the tower, but they will not finish it. Keep in mind, camps being picked up. We do see that the Impaler camp picked up by Hogger and Karazim. So Joe now has to somehow deal with that, which is not the easiest for them. You now see that bottom camp being done by the side of Can't Connect by Death and Delay. And Can't Connect Stuns starting their own Bruiser. And the Siege being started, their Bruiser being started by Joe. No, Sparklark changing their mind, having a good think about things, not quite sure what they want to do. Immortals being called now, so they do need to start this very soon. And see Sparklark will instead be dealing with top. And Tyrande will be one starting it. Owl being thrown. Sees that no one's on the camp, no one's evading. Delta Sniper does blink to safety, does get hit by the hammer. Sim Porky doing their best to take down the sniper, but the sniper will be fine. Unfortunately, for the side of Can't Connect Stuns, very fortunate for Death and Delay, as you did have that rough first map. You want to get it away. This map, you want to get it to us a best of 3. Don't know if we will get it. I'm sometimes hopeful best of 2s, depending on time my voices. I'm like, you know what? I've casted 2 best of 2s so far today. I would like to see a best of 3. If it is after the best of 5 GGS game I casted yesterday, which I do love casting those women, they do it very well. And there's a lot of damage coming out. That's Greymane and the Kerosene down in just a few moments. Sure, Hogger is getting a lot of damage done, but the race now is on, and the side of Death and Delay has a scary amount of race between them. IO Maiden can reduce the spell reduce the armor of the Immortal even if it doesn't show. See now that even though the race was started first by Can't Connect Stuns onto the Immortal, the side of Death and Delay definitely caught up. And just so Ty knows, because once again they have a new one here, the Immortals do a lot of siege. Essentially this is the objective of the map. Do those. The first person to drop the enemy to 1 to 0 will have their own help them out a little bit for pushing. Rinse and repeat. So you can either very much build a team fight composition on this map, which the side of Death Delay has, or the side of Can't Connect Stuns have done. They just dive and kill, while Death and Delay have done a more I will burn the objective and actually have a decent amount of bulk to the team fight, as main tank Ufa can do so. So now we can see the shield. That's how much shield was left after Can't Connect Stuns did damage to the Immortal. So the Immortal will now fly up top to help the enemy team, and it will always fly to this lane with the structures with the most health. And as bottom is missing a whole fort, that's why the Immortal went top this time. A lot of stuns coming out onto Brainer, but Brainer, however, does jump out and be into safety. See, level 7's are through. Li Ming is going that more race-centric single target style build, so that'll be scary to keep in mind from Delta Sniper. And as expected, Paper Tanks did pick up the Hungering Monster Hunter at level 7, which does a lot of siege damage. However, speaking of damage, Slick Rub dove on top, and because it's Iron Fist Karazim, that will be a lot of damage. That is a dead Vala. The Nephilim are a little bit scrappy bunch, and they will just go down. And now we see the rotation coming bottom. Li Ming is in position to defend, while the side of Brainer and Slick Rub are making their way down, but the little divers on their way. IO Maiden sitting below the main ski, none the wiser, but IO Maiden realizes they now need to back out the long way, and the defense coming out bottom. All while Sim Porky is going to be clearing top, which we do see Sparklark has gone to deal with. Now, this is not really a bush you could safely step into if you're the side of Death and Delay. Can't Connect Stuns. Have been connecting this, no, okay, maybe not that one. Have been doing pretty well today in living, well, breaking the namesake, and we'll see they are going to be pushing in here. Meanwhile, Muradin is looking to go for a little bit of flank. Has been found by Paper Tanks. And we see now the team of Can't Connect Stuns being forced out from their siege. As Muradin, while yes, was going for an interesting idea, wasn't quite able to be in a good position to help the team. 10s are through first for Can't Connect Stuns. So Heroics picked up. Interesting, we see Divine Palm. So a little bit of that extra healing that is sometimes lacking for Karazim. But I'm very interested to know why they didn't pick up the 7-side strike, considering they're doing a we dive and kill you composition already. We do also see Gust Foulstard go for the throat on the Greymane, speaking of it, dive and kill. Shockwave Hogger and the Avatar Mirrored on the other side. We do see Disintegrate Li Ming. Blessed Shield is on the Joanna. Luna Starfall is on the Tyrande. Divine Storm Ufa and Rain of Vengeance Vala, so a decent amount of CC. As you can see, there is a Divine Palm coming out onto the main ski. That is probably why we did pick it, as main ski did eat 2 heroics there. Another stun coming out onto Brainer. Mac Daddy-O trying to back up. That was half time for the side of in favor of Death and Delay, as they again do have very good race on the Immortal. So you can see it's dropping much quicker than it is for the side of Can't Connect Stuns. Brainer does jump out after they try to interrupt a little. And that objective will be going top once again. As you can see, the team of Death and Delay have been kind of chased out a little. Porky found Sniper. Sniper having to blink away. Nice stun by Porky. Onto Porky from MacDaddy-O. MacDaddy-O is the one in trouble. See, they're taking a lot. They're trying to move their way around. That Gust may have... I was saying Gust may have saved Ufa. However, no, it did not. As Ufa was able to survive. At least a little bit longer with that Gust, but wasn't able to live. And now we see the Immortal is already on the building. But Shredded Wind can get through this pretty easily. Greymane's excellent single target damage. We see the Immortal jumping into the melee range. Gonna be hitting it slowly but surely. I don't think this building goes down in time. It will be close. Maybe one more hit. No, no more hits. Building survives a second Immortal. Nice. We see camps now being picked up once again by Death and Delay. Meanwhile, Spark Clark playing pretty safe with that offlane Joanna. Interesting to see we perceive both Subdue and Sins Exposed, considering how Joanna's been playing this game. But I guess it does... Oh. Yep. Sometimes it happens. Joanna rejoined the game. Nice stun by Brainer. Stun coming up from MacDaddy. Shield going in deep, finding Greymane. They need to be ready because the palm is up. There is the palm. Doesn't quite find anyone that time. Nope, Shredder Wind did not give a heal from it as they did not die, let's say. That's a good fight. You got out the Divine Palm that time. You now know that you can kill for the next 40 seconds or so, because I think it's a 45-second cooldown. 50-second cooldown, sorry, rather. But that is really not a long time when it comes to things such as MOBAs. You can see that is already halfway back. Poor Brainer. Poor Brainer getting it unpaused upon them. Right, and we do see now the fort will go down, and the side of Death and Delay will continue chasing. The owl flying through couldn't quite find the bird, or the griffin of Porky's, but they'll be fun. And we now are once again getting teams running at each other. Oh, Porky gets hit by a very well-placed stun. Another well-placed stun. Race is coming up, so the Immortal phase is going to open up. And Death and Delay are very much getting in position to go from the outset. As once again, they have the advantage when it comes to this position. Very much it needs to be can't connect stuns pushing into them, I think. Sure, you can have Joe stall a little as Greymane is just auto attack damage. But we see Blessed Shield coming out, stopping Hogger from using Shockwave. And Hogger did get Divine Palm once again. See teams backing out. Divine Palm is now down, however. But that was a lot of heroics now used for Death and Delay. So can't connect stuns are going to be trying to push back in. Shredder Wind doing what damage they can. They have the move speed as Greymane, which is about to drop off. And that is not quite what you want if you're them. Also realize I'm still on the Kerosene. How long is I on Kerosene for? I have no clue. Right, the Immortals are just slowly going to be swinging each other. Slowly. Do they actually damage each other? No. Right, there's the stun onto Brainer. Brainer does take a lot. Force out. We do see the jump onto MacDaddy-O. MacDaddy-O taking a lot. Ufa does go down. Go for Throat. Did get its reset. We did hear the angry wolf sound there, and we can hear the grumbling still. And there goes Ufa's body. His ghost form finally leaving this earth. How zoomed out am I? Not always zoomed out. Paper Tank's doing what damage they can. Delta Sniper gets dove on upon. They're a little bit too aggressive as they don't have the Ufa Tank. Joanna's also not with them. That is a dead Delta Sniper. Paper Tank's trying to roll where they can. Iron Maiden hitting a good stun, but however pushed back into the team. And suddenly what was looking good for Death and Delay suddenly looks to be a rough spot. Paper Tanks, however, won't be going down to just Brainer. They will be halving. They will have to concede this objective, which good fight there by Can't Connect Stuns at exactly how you wanted things to go. So that'll be the first objective Can't Connect Stun is Stuns are able to pick up this series, and that's the third objective of the game. Of the map, I should say. Right. Team fight going to break out once again. Paper Tanks gets jumped on upon by the Muradin, but no kill found there. And here comes the Immortal. Just slowly floating up the lane. There we see it now. It's making its way towards down the aisle. It's going, you know what, this gate here? Screw that gate is going to start hitting it, which does do a decent amount to the gate with each of these hits. We can see Brainer was hit by the hammer. Stun coming out, Mainski rolling through. Nice, another stun coming out onto Brainer. Brainer taking a lot of damage already, but Mainski even lower. Right, the team is trying their best to get on top of things. They do take down the Immortal before the building gets taken down. Yes, they do. Stun coming out to Karazim. Karazim trying his best. Gus keeping him alive. Mac Daddy-O uses the Divine Storm. However, Brainer was able to jump out just before it hit them. And that's a good push if you are Deaf and Delay. Oh, not Deaf and Delay. If you are can't connect stuns. That was a good objective to find as it really opened everything up. And that building is basically sneezable. And it looks like Sim Porky is wanting to do something a little bit cheeky, but they may not be able to. They're still considering it. They're going to do it now. Paper Tanks is still there. That's risky. It's like... because you never expect someone to be here. The second wave is passing. Paper Tanks is still nearby as a problem. Porky is being very patient. We can see now's the time to strike. I don't think 1Q is enough. They do have to go all in on this, and they do. And we see Porky is now flying back. But while that fault was taken, we do see bottom Bruiser was. Porky not quite there in time. We see stun. There is a Divine Palm once again. They've not quite learnt the lesson yet. We do see Hogger does bounce out to safety. Porky actually very in the backline. Paper Tanks isn't one going to go down. That's poor timing for them to go down. There's the anti-heal onto Shredder Wind, but Shredder Wind will survive. Stun coming out. However, that shockwave doesn't quite find anyone. Io Maiden getting relatively low. Ufa trying their best to get everyone alive, but we see that's 2 down now. Io Maiden is next to fall. Slickrob doing their best to hold on. Gets taken out by the disintegration from Delta Sniper. Delta Sniper doing what they can. Mac Daddy is the one in trouble now, though, as Porky does get one last stun on. Gets stunned one last time by Ufa on his way out. And that is the objective phase now up. As Delta Sniper is that arcane missile build, and we'll be burning through it. But no, it's Greymane and Mirrodin getting a good start here. Unfortunately, Vala is down, so there's not much they can do about the large amount of race in the meantime. We can see that Delta Sniper is resetting the damage bonus that's given by their level 1 of the arcane missiles and then pushing in. But hopefully it's a defensive side of one. No, it will be top instead. I don't know if they go straight for race here or whether they try to team fight instead. It looks like it may be a team fight coming up from the side of Death and Delay. So can't connect stuns are going to get shielded. We do see that Shredder Wind gets very low, gets taken down. And Karazim was still on their way back. There's not much they can do about that. Brainer taking double, those 2 hungering arrows coming through. We can see now Sparklark forced out a little. See Shockwave coming out, hitting the Li Ming. Delta Sniper, however, in a very safe position. Brainer tries to go in, see what damage they can do. Eats more than they do to the Immortal, which are not always the best to always jump into the middle of things. Vala has started racing, keep that in mind, so now we are going to see this get a little bit hairy. Gust coming out. No, that is a little bit too much damage. Blind, excellent blind. The Immortal does eventually go over to Death and Delay, however, that is a Divine Palm onto the Mirrodin. Mirrodin gets pulled back in. Brainer trying their best to hold on, does get out. Paper Tank's doing a lot of damage to Porky, but now there will be an Immortal dropping in behind them, which they need to deal with. Oh, you right, Porky? Not Porky, Paper Tanks. You right, Paper Tanks? Porky's on my mind, man. Paper Tanks is a bit to say. Shit. Not all P names are Porky, you mind. Now we can see the side of Death and Delay burning through Immortal. It's already lost its shield, so it is in that kind of melee form at this point. It doesn't have the range to it. Karazim's coming in from... not Karazim. Porky... no. Falstad coming in from the Sparklark trying to hold them off. This Immortal is basically already down. Does get dropped now. You see Mainski doing their best to do the damage they can to it. Does get stunned. Does take a little bit too much. Once again, we see that it is the Divine Palm saving Mainski. Mac Daddy-O very much wants them but couldn't get to them. We do see Greymane goes in. Shredder Wind, however, couldn't quite get the reset with Go for a Throat, and at that point they had to full commit. Slickrub, however, doesn't have the support to keep them alive, while Paper Tanks does, thinking about Ufa and that Tyrande. Man, I'm tired. Defense coming out. Porky tried their best just to keep pushing, but... oh, shoot, sorry. Joanna doing their best just to make sure no damage really gets its way onto the core. Red team's core is under attack. Bottom camp picked up. We see Slick Rub heals up for main ski. Have a rotation coming down. I need to get some food after this as well. Right, stun coming out. Sparklock is going to be clearing that up pretty effectively. And the team's playing very safe. 20s through first with a side of can't connect stuns. As we do see Wind Tunnel picked up. We do see actually Storm Shield on Karazim. So a little bit more survivability for the team. You'll see no control Hogger. The Gilnean Blunderbuss. No, yeah, Gilnean Blunderbuss. Hunter's Blunderbuss. Because that's Quicksilver ability for the Grey Main. And things rounded out with a rewind on the Muradin. So double hammer, double jump. So 20s are now through for the side of Death and Delay. We do see Telrash's Elements. We do see Redemption on the Ufa. Well, there's Farflight with a Vala, so it's going to be able to play much safer into that dive. But we also see Blessed Shield and Frostblade, Iceblade arrows on the Tyrande, so damage reduction will come in very strong this series. Brandon takes a lot of damage, but you can't quite kill him completely because there is the Karazim's, whatever it's called, Divine Palm, keeping him alive. And once again, we see that Porky is now out of position, does take a little bit of damage. It's very defensive position for the teams, but it looks like it will be can't connect. Death and Delay stepping in first, can't connect stuns, conceding some distance. We see now that Immortal being quickly dropped. Mac Daddy-O taking a lot to start off. They will go down first. Redemption is up for them, so they won't be down for long. Paper Tanks is getting healed all the while. It's being so hard to kill. They will see Ufa back now, getting one last heal off. Sparklark has gone back to deal with the camp, which they are able to. It's an even fight all in all. The other offlaner is dead, and your race is absolutely killing it. Shredded Wind does have that defensive popped onto him, that Storm Shield doing so well to keep them alive. Falstad was trying to get some cheeky damage in, and we can see that Sparklark is having to deal with these catapults. They do pull one away, but they both go down at the end. Now Porky does use Wind Tunnel, gets hit by the stun of Io Maiden and will go down. Sure, Mac Daddy-O was pushed into Narnia, but they are still going to get to the Immortal just as it's going to be dropping.
The demon approaches the gates of heaven.
And this is a good lane for the Immortal to be pushing for the side of Death and Delay, because this is the lane where there is a already dead keep. So you need to find your own. You need to find a keep for your own, and this lane is probably the best one to do it. So, and as it will alleviate the pressure that has been on your keep for core for a while now. Shredder Wind being forced to back up. Mac Daddy-O taking a decent amount of damage from that Blunderblast itself. Alright, Shredder Wind stepping up. We see Mac Daddy-O stunning the Muradin before it can do any serious damage to the backline. No hammer to be found there, but we do see they have to back out. Core will be having the Immortal on it soon, but it looks like Muradin is stuck forever. Slick Rub did have palm up, however, with how deep Muradin was, they were just a little bit too far away for the enemy team, for the team of Can't Connect Stuns to really help. We see stun coming out onto the Shredded Wind, but Shredded Wind will not be found there. However, Core is quickly dropping, so it looks like we will, ooh, no, but yeah, we will have a free map series as 1% left gets taken out in the end. Well played, Death and Delay, taking this to a series with a map number 3. Hell yeah. So let's have a look at the game summary screen, shall I? So in terms of stats, very even stock between Falstad and the Joanna, but there was also Hogger picking up a little bit of soak in camps as well. So Falstad did have a little bit more soak while Joanna was trying to clean up the mess that they were leaving. So in terms of hero damage, Vala did 87k, the most in the game, just because Li Ming was 1k behind them, and we see Greyman 51 on their own. But as I said, there's an interesting comp where Death and Delay actually had a very hard composition to deal with, because while yes, Can't Connect Stuns just had to dive on someone died, so it had all the bits of damage they need. The damage just a little bit more on Can't Connect Death and Delay, and that did eventually break through things. Also mentioned healing, Karazim did 87k compared to the 53k of Ufa and Tyrande. Well, that's because, well, you can't necessarily heal up what the other one's already healed. So in terms of talents, 42 stacks on Frequent Flyer, good stuff there. Unfortunately, no Subdue finish, but Joanna definitely did have to play a lot of off lane, a lot more than they possibly would have liked, as well as Vala, 49 stacks of the Q build, but interesting to see, Acrobat at level 20 is probably the thing that stands out here. And I do like when I see the W build, Q build being picked up. Other than that, everything kind of makes sense here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on over to our map view screen and see what the last map of the day is going to be, shall we? So, what do we get last? What is the last map of the day? It is Sky Temple. I know not everyone is a fan of this map, but it is the one we are going to get, and I damn well actually enjoy it. Sky Temple. There it is. Okay. So, we've got some interesting stuff about to happen, so let me swap it over, because we have what the HOTS community lovingly calls the, the one place he hates. We're getting some Juice Pirates happening today by the looks of things, because we have a Tyrael played by Brainer, and we have a Lieutenant Morales played by Slick Rub. But I see now why the team was, why the teams are wanting this one to get casted. We have Shredder Wind on the Sylvanas, Sim Porky is on the Zarya, Evermansky is on Blaze. On the other side, we do have Io Maiden on the Abathur, Mac Daddio is on the Kerosene, Paper Tank, Greymane, Delta Sniper on the Hogger, and, well, Sparklark rounding things out with that ETC. And I can see that, unfortunately for them, they weren't quite able to get the Greymane. That possibly would have been their first pick, but no, the turning off of buildings will be able to do very well coming into the late game, as that is going to be a necessary choice. Porky actually taking a decent damage. Brainer very low already. Shredder Wind being forced out. We do see Greymane back on top. We do see the Haunting Wave, and such good single target peel for the team of Death, for the team of Can't Connect Stuns. Because we do see Slick Rub does have the armor, does have that single target meta beam. Porky does have the bubbles, and Brainer does also have a little bit of shielding of their own. Delta Sniper is the one in danger now, does get slowed by Brainer. They will go down. Mac Daddio does jump the wall to see if they can punch to death. I feel like the comment joke is C, but there's another bit I've heard of it. So what is it, Melville? Is it R? Is it C? It's one of those two. Yeah, R. Yeah, but it's actually the C. There we go! Red like a book. Right, but we do see the Black Arrows once again coming on. Abathur trying to be as top. Greymane will be getting that counter pressure in their own lane as well. Meanwhile, we can see Hogger, Sparklark, and Mac Daddio struggling bottom. Mac Daddio gets hit by Grenade. Will eventually go down. Brainer pushing in. Okay, I like that one, King Andrew, actually. Meanwhile, we do see Vermansky has been forced to double soak. They will have to now deal with a decent amount of pressure top. Paper Tanks will probably make it very hard for Mansky. This division is a best of 3, so we are ending on Juice Pirates in a best of 3. The only division that is a best of 5 is Storm Division. That is the top, actually, money involved type division here at NGS. We also see that Juice Pirates are just going to be broken out for fun. That building's being dropped fast. I feel like last time I casted Juice Pirates, it was Sky Temple as well. I don't know why I feel like that's the case, but it definitely is. Right, but we can see now they've run up to the middle building. They're not caring about the objective or anything like that. They are swinging buildings. Speaking of objectives, the objectives are up now. Porky taking a lot. We see the Black Arrows coming out, meaning they're able to stay a little bit longer. Imagine Shredder Wind will be running out of those Black Arrows soon, but they do have Delta Sniper and Sparklark jumping onto them. Brainer and Porky trying their best to get out. Brainer does so. Porky wanting Delta Sniper but can't quite find it, and the Siege Camp is still available if they want it. Which it looks like they do. Which, good time to get that Siege Camp out now, just because you're now making people deal with things. This top building pretty low already, just they need to see. Different Delay is probably just going to want to trade. They're going to get this mid one, but we can see now with how Can't Connect Stuns have done, they are able just to do this middle one to get roughly similar value to what's happened top. All while buildings are definitely in favor of Can't Connect Stuns, and that's really what you want with this map. You want structures in favor, because the temples will have diminished effect. So when you have these two kind of temples you can trade out, if you have that advantage, it's very easily going to go over to you. But we see that Brainer is being forced out, but Porky and Slickrub have returned, and Sylvanas not too far away. So the Juice is here. Well, the Juice is not here for another few levels. And Ty, I'll show you what Juice Pirates is when it finally appears, because it's getting into a little bit of Eldritch knowledge at this point. But no, we can see that it is Can't Connect Stuns picking up their own camp. In terms of structures, there is a very solid lead for Def and Delay. They have very solid lead for Can't Connect Stun, because Def and Delay has lost already 1, 2 forts, plus their walls, and most of the third wall. Oh, Zarya goes down. That's unfortunate timing for them. They are needing a little bit more help. Grenade coming through for Slickrub, not quite able to find anything. But they are going to be making their way down. Shredder Wind tearing open this wave. That unstable poison does very well at breaking things open. And realistically, the side of Def and Delay, maybe. Realistically, the side of Can't Connect Stuns want to get top soon. If they can get top before this objective, that makes things a lot easier for them in terms of the juice. But we are going to get to the point where eventually we're just going to be rushing each other down on cooldown. Right, there is the chase. No, they will not get on top of them. And we back out to safety. Good take by the objective. Yep, we do see the call to come top is now up. Black Arrows is up, I imagine. Blaze is soaking bottom. They do have to be a little bit careful where everyone is. You see, Shredder Wind is going to be starting to tear everything open. We can see that is the first tower down pretty quick. And now we can see that it is going to be the building online next. Black Arrows have just dropped, so they do need to finish this soon. We see Red Team managed to get the mid fort, so Def and Delay did trade that out. But no, this building isn't quite able to go downtime, but it is still a structure advantage to the side of Can't Connect Stuns. So Def and Delay need to come up here. But now we can see bottom objective is open, and we may just very well see Def and Delay make Can't Connect Stuns make their way bottom. I think of a team that I played last season. I keep thinking of going to say their name, which I know I played 2 CCS teams last season, but this is yet another one. Yep, there's the Juice. So Juice Pirates is Ty, where the team will just use a dropship to fly into the enemy base, use an invulnerability circle, and just wail on the building. But that invulnerability circle is dropped now, so we won't be getting the full Juice Pirates experience just yet, because Brainer decided that was needed at that point. All while we can see Blaze is channeling bottom. So at least the threat of Juice Pirates is still available. They do still have mid effect dropship on the Morales, but you do also see Expulsion Zone Zarya, the Bunker Blaze, which also helps with the situation. Sylvanas again, Micro and Black Arrows is here before, and the Sylvanas does have. Oh, that's an excellent mosh. That is actually Morales dead. That is just how you need to counter things. And now we see the team backing up. Porky is going to go down next. Brainer did try to help them. Will probably teleport to their sword. Nope. Shredder Wind does get that 7-sided strike. We do see it this time. We see that teams keep trying to run. They do get out. Other things to note, now we're on the other side of things, is Hogger went that... No, they haven't decided yet, actually. Hogger's making it up their mind. We see a 7-sided strike by the Karazim. Curse Bullet, Greymane, Mosh Pit, etc. And we see the Evolve Monstrosity from the Abathurst. Not often you do see a Evolve Monstrosity, but it can do very well. It looks like we may be setting up shortly. The team pushing its way in. Does find the enemy team on the camp. Doesn't quite find the grenade onto anyone, but Mainsky is in the middle of everything else. And if they found out where the next temple is, I may imagine we know what's going to happen soon. Nice triple stun by Hogger. However, they do get hit by mind control. There is a follow-up stun by Blaze. There is a bunker there available. Porky may need to get in it, but no, they're a little bit greedy. Goes down in the end. And that, again, is one of your key pieces you're missing to your comp, which is every hero. Brainer is getting relatively low. We see Greymane getting on top of him. Curse Bullet, however, cannot finish people off. There is for Sanctification. They will be fine in the end, but we see that as Hogger going down. Mac Daddy-O does back out. And that is a unfortunate thing. I do have to say, though, Abathur, I know this little slug is chilling in the base, but he's a pretty good way to counter the Juice Pirates, just because they do have their cooldown mule, which does slowly heal up buildings. And all heroes used to have it, just this now. Just only Abathur does now. Brainer barely got out of that stun circle from the sand golem, that boss, and we see boss is up. Juice, 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 juice. No juice at the moment. But looks like we are setting up for a temple phase soon. And it's pretty even all in all. We do see that it is a Evolve Monstrosity pushing down top. Blaze is having to go deal with that before it gets too out of hand. And it does get out to safety, which will be all way back here. Karazim is alone. Porky has realized that and stepping up to the Mac Daddy-O. Karazim was punching Sim Porky a little bit, but we do now see they are going to get vision of themselves. Backs out to their totem punches. Shredder Wind does have mind control. Doesn't quite find Mac Daddy-O, even without the dash fair a little bit off. And they realize they are going to have to back out now. Slick Rub, maybe just run down and try to get safety. We see the medevac to help them out. They do jump in. It needs to be popped immediately. No, it goes down before they can get to safety. That's a double kill now, or it's a single kill now. Porky trying the best to escape. We're not actually getting any juice pirates with this. We're not getting any pirates with this juice, and I'm actually kind of saddened by it. I was very much hoping we'd see a good example of how juice pirate works, but apparently the side of can't connect stuns a little bit scared. But by no means they do have to juice with this composition. Right, their objectives comfortably going over to the side of Devon Delay so far. Can't connect stuns. Got the majority of mid, but have decided to lead. They are still in an advantageous spot in terms of structures. Abathur, of course, however, can make it so that is not the case. Medevac getting dropped by the Morales, so they will be all back in a few moments. Shooter Wind getting hit by a lot. There is the Sanctification. And that is a lot of damage being mitigated there. Everyone standing in that 7-side strikes to give diminishing effects. Paper Tanks goes down at the end. You see Delta Sniper wanting the best of him as well, but will go down themselves. And we do see now the objective maybe will be capped by Brainer, as the rest of the team wanting to invade the camp. Nope, it looks like they're just wanting to push instead. Right, here comes the push. Sparklock trying to get their cooldown back, as we do see Mosh getting reduced a lot by that boombox that's left on the ground. Encore does so well in these situations. ETC barely squeezes around Porky through the team. You see Mosh is back up, but that building all the while targeting the team. There's Mosh onto the two team members now. Slick Rub has a good grenade interrupting the Mosh itself. Brainer relatively low. We see that it is Porky going down first. Brainer's likely to go down next if they can even keep up with him, because Brainer is going to try and hold on. They do go back the other way. Mac Daddy-O wants to get on top of Brainer. Brainer is halving in core. All Realm Morales goes down. Brainer goes down as well. And that is everyone else safe. Objective phase will be up in a little bit. We do have 16v16. Let's have a look at talents, because we haven't had a look at those in a while, and now's a relatively good time. Right, that's a good drink. I really am afraid that that drink sound can pick up on mic. Sparklock flies in a little bit too late. It is quite alone compared to the rest of the team, but no, they'll be joining them just now. And thanks to that camp, they do have vision. Can't connect stuns does back out to safety. Punch, 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 punch. You know, this could all just be a deception. They never planned on juicing. I've come around the 5 stages of grief, and I'm back at acceptance. They could just have picked this comp to make the enemy team want to play a certain style. So Devon Delay are forced into kind of this role where they need to be cautious about what's happening behind them. Nice pickup of the camp. Mainski has been found by the rest of the team. They'll just be running away as fast as they can. Sparklark is going to be finding Shredder Wind. No, they will not find them with a stun, however. See that Mainski is in trouble. Nice stun by the Hogger. Mind control is the thing to cancel the Mosh, however, and that is a lot of damage coming out. Mainski doing the best to hold on, and that is the EC going down. Sim Porky trying. Does dodge flask. There is the bubble. See that Shooter Wind does back out to safety. Well, while that this thing has been stacking pretty effectively, they leave it, funnily enough. And now we see a little bit of juicing happen. They expected someone to back out to this little bit of a lane here. Couldn't find anyone. That's unfortunate. So we will be making the way up. I think they're trying to catch out the Abathur with that. That may also be a very good. That's also a very good use for it. Right, we do now see that Def and Delay are being forced out this objective once again. Stun coming out, but good unstopped by Hogger as they start their spin. That is now the second building, second keep down for Def and Delay. All while that this boy bottom is trying to heal up and push as well as they can. Wait, what is volatile? What does this do again? Interesting. Right, we do see everyone pushing in now. Tyrael does the sanctification up, so they can use it if they so choose to. Which it looks like it may be the instance coming in soon, as that's a lot of damage. There's the Sanct, very aggressive compared to the rest of the team. Bunker is dropped into, there's a lot of flame coming out. Porky relatively low, gets pushed into bush, will go down. Nice stun by Vemansky. Sparklark is going to be sliding onto them. That is Vemansky probably going to go down here. There's not too many options they have to escape, and they do not. Oh, there's one knight back up. Come on, little dude. You got it? One more shot? Yep, there we go. Boss call coming out from the team of Can't Connect Stuns. This is the first time they've ever really been able to do it, because there is no... What's the word I'm looking for? There is no expulsion zone to push them off it, but we do see in the meantime the team of Def and Delay run up, well not Def and Delay, Can't Connect Stuns run into Def and Delay's core to start hitting the building. They don't have really the fastest clear, is going to be the problem here. We do see Delta Sniper has come back to help deal with it. And we do see that the medevac takes them to safety. All the way across the map. Shredder Wind does tap of it here. They were needing those resources. Meanwhile, Boss is knocking at the door now. Imagine objectives will be called soon. There they are. Let's see how this goes. Expulsion zone keeping Brainer alive. Nice stun there by Vemansky, but Delta Sniper even better one with that shockwave. We see Brainer goes down first. Caught a little bit on an island. They did actually have Sanct up, so no, they didn't quite have Sanctification up. It was barely on cooldown. It's barely on cooldown. It barely came off cooldown after they died. Bunker did drop Blaze. Wait, Blaze did drop Bunker. See now Boss still pushing in, but there will not be an end call here by any means. In fact, it will be a defendable situation. Sparklark goes for the slide through. Mansky will be fine. We do see now Hogger being trapped in. Mac Daddy-O also getting in those tornadoes. There now Delta Sniper's trapped in tornadoes. Shredder Wind keeps running upwards. That Greymane did very much want the kill there, wasn't able to do so. Slickcrop, however, will be one getting killed. Steven Mansky is the next one in danger. Does get out barely. Oh, that was a good bubble by Zarya, and we can see now that this call has not gone as planned for the side of Def and Delay. They are still up, however, they are trying their best. Paper Tanks and Kerosene are one of the better ones to get things through. Paper Tanks taking a lot of damage. Mac Daddy-O as well. The core at 9%, and Sanct was dropped, but that may be an end call for the team. I don't think Sanct was needed there, but now we're in a position where you need to run at the enemy core before they get to you. GG call by Sparklark. I'm not entirely sure about that. Because I guess you can just do objectives. I don't know why you need to run at the core if you're the team of Def and Delay. We see Sim Porky backing up. I guess they're wanting a reset on resources, make sure nothing goes too wrong in the meantime. Because we see the Evolved Monstrosity trying their best to back up. They did try to burrow it back, so now it will be cancelled. Meanwhile, Mansky, Shredder Wind, and Brain are doing their best to tear this core apart. It's not the quickest, but all the while it is Morales up, dropping the medevac soon. They need to get both of them in immediately to get to the core. As the team is suffering in the meantime, Bunker finally dropped. We do see that medevac is here now with Zarya and, well, Brainer. But no, that's the two heroes down. They need to back up now. They can't really risk this going in favor of Def and Delay, so they may just want to commit someone to doing an objective while the other two kite. But all 5 members are up for Def and Delay, so this may be a tall order to defend. It may be the double verse. Hell, we may even see a triple. Because what, 9% here, 56% here? They realize they need to back up. They know they can take the shots, but they know they can't take a Def. Because you have 2 buildings they need to get through. This one, sure. This one has a full gate. So I don't think objectives end here. This may be perfectly calculated. And we may even look at another end call here for the side of Death and Delay. Or at least running down onto the Karazim with that medevac. But no, we just get a call to do their own camp instead. Brainer runs at MacDaddio. MacDaddio, however, will get abahatted, so they do now have a lot of bonus resources. Morales goes, hey, we got a flight to catch. Get on over here, we can meet it back in. Nice mosh by ETC. So that is a 4v5 now technically at the moment, but we see now that is the other two coming back. That is a lot already coming out. Nice charge by Blades. That is 7-sided coming through, but that still is a rough spot to be in if you are the Karazim. Gets hit immediately by the bunker flames. We can see now Hogger is going core, and Mainsky is finishing off the objective while halving. Hogger uses Shockwave. I don't know about that one. Delta Sniper is a little bit too low to finish this by the look of things, but the Mainsky needs to find a way to stop Hogger from actually damaging the core, as it will be ringing around Rosie. A pocket full of posies, but we see Delta Sniper will not be ringing around that Rosie anymore. Goes down. Sparklark wanted to look to see if they can end, but Mind Control coming out instantly will be going down. Medevac is back up. Keep in mind for you, that is a dead team. Blaze is going to be running it down mid. All the while, this core has been healed up by the cooldown mule, but I don't know if it will last this time. Once again, we're 4 heroes down out of a 5. Will it be enough? Blaze has bunker up in 20 seconds, so it will be available when everyone starts to come through. Morales will be able to fly back pretty far, but it does take them a little bit to get to the point where they can medevac all the way. How much damage is this thing doing at this point? Enough. 247. That's what I inevitably I accidentally. Core is dropping very quickly, actually. So, Morales just got back here. We see Sylvanas went down, but that was 4 core calls. And in the end, it did go over to can't get connect stuns. Well played. That dropship just adds so much versatility. It becomes so much harder to deal with things when someone can just be anywhere at any given point. Well, let's swap on over to a game summary screen and see how that one went for our last series of the day. So, in terms of talents, we do have Morales and Karazim doing X amount of healing for the most part. Morales 77k, Karazim 50. While Bazaria, Tyrael, ETC, and Abathur all added their own shielding. In terms of other things, we do see Sylvanas the most damage for the starter can't connect stuns, 89k compared to 73k from Greymane. As well as we do see 137k Siege from them and 128k Siege from Abathur. Abathur doesn't always do the most Siege, but they definitely did have the most Soak on 22k of their own and 17k Soak picked up by Sylvanas. That leads us to the talents. Anything interesting picking up. So Sylvanas did go more hero damage, is probably the main thing to note with their percent damage at level 1. It did mean that their building burn did suffer a little bit, but I also thinking they may have been expecting to pick up a Greymane along the way. I do like the Karazim here. It did very much help deal with the push that was constantly happening from Can't Connect Sun, so Death and Delay were able to slow things down a little bit, and that means they were able to get very close to getting the game won twice, but they weren't able to quite get there as well. The team of the Can't Connect Stuns did connect the damage they needed to make sure that they didn't lose, and that happened not once but twice. Mule did try its best to bring the core back from the brink, but that couldn't quite happen for Can't Connect Stuns. Couldn't quite happen for Death and Delay this time. In saying that, it nearly very did happen, as there were deaths coming in at the end. So, that was a 2-1 series to Can't Connect Stuns at the end of the day. That is going to be it for me. I am going to be rating my friend Icy Morning. So, we'll jump on over to VM Sega Day. The cast will be available to rewatch today. It will be just available after I'm done. It will take about 5 minutes, but it will be available afterwards. So to everyone who joined, I do greatly appreciate you showing up. It has been an excellent game day of series and casts. I have been your host for the day, the Lime Bus. I wish everyone have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where they are in the world, because time zones are weird. But I'll see you in the Nexus. Have a good night, everyone.